The show.
Yeah. Well, it could all be avoided if we all didn't have the technical competency of like 80-year-olds. I know who the Miz is. And that's only because he played in the celebrity softball games at All-Star Weekend. That's the only reason I know who the Miz is. Also, sexual deviant, the guy who threw shoes in Austin Powers. Didn't that guy do something?
Oh yeah, he was the one that got punched by the mullet guy in the dick, right?
In the dick,
UFC 3?
Yeah, in the dick.
Okay.
Let's get this over with, because I gave up on sports since Sunday. I haven't been watching any sports. I don't like sports anymore. Sports are dumb.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. Ah!
What do you want?
The world, sir. Damn Flurkins. Fucking cats. I'm on Team Skrull when it comes to Flurkins. They're creepy and I don't like them. I can't wait to see a scene in Secret Invasion when an army of Flurkins comes at a bunch of Skrulls. Like, I think that should be a thing. If they don't do that, they're missing out on comedy gold. It's a great callback.
You are a terrible fucking sports fan.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. You don't give a shit about a team until they beat your friend's team, and you want your friends to feel like shit.
No!
Because you're a terrible fucking sports fan. That's exactly what you're doing. You want to troll people and make them feel fucking shitty because the team you don't actually care for beat a team that we actually care about. So fuck you, Wayne. Fuck you before you even fucking say everything.
Well.
Bro, plata. Where black people and white people talk nonsense.
Hi, guys. Bro Plata here. Forgot to turn that on. So that's the first strike of the day. What's up? Bro Plata for Thursday, episode 234. Racking those episodes up. And our views are staying consistent. Appreciate you guys for that. Really do. I love the fact that people watch after the fact a lot more than they watch live, which means that people want to actually do want to watch our show, keep up with it, and we appreciate every single person that does that. All hail to the MMA holes. Shout out to them as well for letting us be on the community with them and helping us out with small yet mighty viewers that you are, all of you. And we are here. Pulse is on his way, I think, maybe, sort of. Tim's having a mental health day. He messaged me before the show, and it's okay. I've been there before. He's done shows without me. Not much, John 209. Good to see you, buddy. But Tim will be out for this episode. He's having one of those days. We've all been there. Told him it's all right. Take the time, do whatever you got to do. Feel better, and we'll have him back on Tuesday. We'll be also talking about some of the fight announcements as well that are going on. The Mateusz Gamrot versus Fiziev fight. Got the privilege to see Mateusz Gamrot, I think, in his last fight, actually, which was at UFC 285. Came in short notice, ended up winning. Polish power all day, every day. And this is, as you know, the worst show on the internet, Bro Plata. So make sure to go down there, like it, goddammit, like everything, like us, man, like us. That's what we want. Subscribe, do all. I can't do that with a straight face. It hurt too, in my throat. It's worse than smoking like 3 cigars, brothers. Not fun at all. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. I'm gonna wait till Pulse gets here. Hopefully he'll be here when we get ready to talk about the fights. If not, we'll just get to him plan maybe hour and a half doing the show, and just kind of talking a little bit, getting some steam out, smoking on camera like a savage. It's been it's been weird since my OVI, so I'm still kind of scatterbrained. Like, some of the shows, you can possibly tell as well, have not been that good, but they've been, hey Tim, if you're listening, we miss you, love you, and we miss you, have a good relaxing evening. Thank you, John 209, you sexy bitch, you. He does have the link, and he said he has the link, so if he wants to join, he can join. I'll definitely have Tim, is always welcome. But yeah, he's done shows before without me because I just didn't want to do the show. So I got to afford him that courtesy, especially for that kind of stuff. Because sometimes, guys, that's the thing. Like, when you don't really think about doing that for yourself. I do it every once in a while. I've got one coming up in October where I'm taking basically a mental health day. I'm going to a concert, but I kind of just want to take a day to, like, get myself together, and kind of just keep my mind going. And yeah, those days are never fun, man. When when you're just like, fuck, man, I don't want to leave the bed. It's never good, dog. It's never good. Like, I've been there multiple times, like horrible depression days, like the kind of depression days where, like, my feet hit the floor and the word fuck hits the floor at the same time because it's falling from my mouth. You get those days, and hopefully everybody that watches this show, we brighten up your day when we're together, all of us, talking shit and just telling stories and talking MMA to an extent. But we appreciate the fans, and we want you guys to come along with a mental ride with us that we have as well. And yeah, and we're here. You can always message us if you're a regular watcher and you're having an off day, you need somebody. Message us, call the suicide hotline, do all that stuff, because we need you out here in the streets pimping Bro Plata. We need you to be a part of the great community, the amazing community that you guys are. And we want to have people that that like the show as well, so you have bonding, so you have people to talk to and talk with. And it's definitely something we take seriously on this show. And I mean, I've had manic episodes on this show. One I had to take down the episode. It was so bad. But again, I've been there. So yeah, I've had it recently especially after the OVI. Like, the OVI's kind of fucked with me a little bit. The DUI, for people that don't know what an OVI is, it's a low level DUI in the state of Ohio. So I've got that going on, and just a bunch of other BS where it's just like, fuck, man. And you get that way. Shit happens. You live your life, you keep going, you move your ass as fast as you can. Sometimes you drag. Sometimes you're Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's been days where I'm like crawling, like I'm trying to get back to the line for a snap. It's just, yeah, you get that point where shit just breaks down, and have the day. Have the day. Take the day for yourself. Have that day. Have the day, baby. Oh, fuck. I smoked way too much weed before the show, so we're going to enjoy this show a lot more because I'm high as shit. Appreciate everybody. It's I got home from work early, like doing the day job thing, and I like what I do. It's just sometimes it does take a lot out of you. You're like, any job will do that to you, really. But got home early, which is rare. Kind of, it was nice just to take that minute to kind of like just reset, and keep trying to at least get ready for the show. Hope you guys also liked the thumbnail. The thumbnail's pretty dope, I think. It was a fever dream. Just made it. Tim gave the episode name, so that's a good thing. I'm excited for Thanksgiving always. Like Thanksgiving's my favorite one because I just recycle the same thing, just add something new to it, which is chocolate pie dish and the turkey flavored water. I'm excited for that one. Hopefully, I'll have some extra scratch to buy Tim a Christmas gift because I want to cheer him up like I did last year with Thumbs Down Guy. That was fun. Got mad at him for it, but at the same time, Tim needs a couple of kids. From what he said, man, about his family, maybe. I'm not going to say fully, but maybe that's a thing. Yeah, Tim needs kids. I'll put that up on the screen. Why not? Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. But yeah, man, I don't know. Tim with kids, Tim Danko with children. That mess of a human being popping out kids. I'm surprised both of us don't have kids. Like I've had a few scares back in the day. Luckily though, I then upgraded to like older women who already had their kids. Yep. I'll get that for you, Pulse. Let me send it to you. And do. Uh-huh. Where is it? There it is. It's in Discord, Pulse. It's in Discord. But yeah, guys. Bro Plata. Pulse is gonna be here. We can finally talk some news. We can talk some shizit about certain things. And then we'll be able to move on from the dumb subject that I'm doing because I'm spending 12 minutes up in this biatch, waiting on the Pulse thing to come through. There we are. Hi, Pulse.
Yo, what up, Ray?
What up, buddy?
Not too much, not too much. What's the discussion about?
Random, as it says in the bottom of the description, nonsense. It's right now. I mean, I'm checking off the nonsense box really quickly. Tim's not going to be here, so he's taking a mental health day.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he messaged me before the show. But you're here. I'm here. I have your microphone, sort of. So we'll get that together soon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'll send you like a link to like buy an arm for it.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. Because they're cheap ones are like $19. Yeah, like super cheap ones. Luckily, I came across the decent one for like 20. So,
man, this is like Christmas coming early.
I know, right? It's Christmas in September, almost October.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude! Fucking, I was out in goddamn. Are you familiar with the Amish?
Yes.
I was out in Amish country today, dude, for work. It's a different planet out there. Like it smells different. It looks different. Like I learned a valuable lesson today. Like I can never be anywhere rural ever. Like it's just I get uncomfortable and want to go back to like I'll hug pavement that's freshly made. Like oh thank God. Oh, instead of going to Amish country. Oh,
I'm the exact opposite. I'm kind of tired of the city, man. It's just so much. The thing about Houston is just so much shit going on. You can never escape the shit. It's like,
well, yeah.
You know. But my friend actually, he went up there one time and he told me that he got some oatmeal from them. And it's a real thing, those Quaker oats.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he said like it tasted like you could definitely tell this isn't store bought oats. Like he doesn't know what they do to it, but it's like it
Well,
tastes like butter.
I'm not saying that like it. How can I put this? I'm basically what my perspective is I just like suburban. Like I don't like full on city life, but like I do cut it off immediately at Amish country. Amish food though, fucking great.
Oh
Some of
yeah.
the best shit I've ever had has been Amish like breakfasts and shit. Oh, so good. So good. Oh, yeah.
What were you doing? Were you like exterminating out there? Or?
Yeah. I was doing some work out there. And it like, you just smell horse shit everywhere. Like, it's just, it's the environment itself is just, it's too, like, I've been to cities in West Virginia that are less shitholy than like Amish country downtowns that are like where their newspaper is like new stoplight installed. Like I don't like those kind of places, man. I don't trust the people. They scare me. Amish people fucking scare me, dude.
How do they like? Do they dress like typical Amish people, like how I would think?
Oh
Or
yeah. Yeah. Got like the women have like the little bunny thing back here, and then you see the dudes with the beards and the hats. I saw like 4 carriages today. I had to pass over like 4 carriages on my way. They're going 10, maybe 5 miles an hour if they're drunk. Yeah, you're just like, dude, why? Why is this? And then you're like, oh yeah, they do make like good shit. Fuck, we do need them.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I wonder sometimes. What do you call it when a group of them decide to leave their community? What is that called?
Runners, I call them. I
Okay,
like, yeah. They also have the thing Rumspringa.
that's it. Okay,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like so? What do they just get tired of that lifestyle and decide they want to?
No. Rumspringa is basically like they go out into the world pretty much because they actually call people outside of an Amish order worldly people,
Right.
and they just live like they're Dutch immigrants. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. To like, they don't get. They don't take care of their fucking dogs either. Like they just let them run around a fucking dirt road while I'm trying to drive. Pieces of garbage.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I can see how it would probably after a while get a little boring, but then at the same time, do you think they deal with conflict? Like, do they have, you know,
Townsfolk hate the Amish. A lot of places. I had a welding teacher years ago taught like just like shit talking the Amish constantly at fucking during like class where we'd be sitting in like a classroom and shit. Yeah, he would shit talk the fucking Amish that live out like east of me because I'm like stuck between like straight up city, and then you go out to like Ashtabula County, like far east towards like Buffalo, and it's a different fucking world. It's a different country. Like it's the strangest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Like just the totalist of white trash. Pulse, you think like Texas has white trash? Ohio white trash is like a rat on meth that got injected with cocaine. Like they're very feral individuals. Like they're just very feral. They itch a lot. Got a lot of track marks that shouldn't be in places that they are, but they are. They're a beautiful species of human being to observe on your way through a town. It's um, Russell Brand seems to be getting buried in the media. They'll figure it out. He's just having a moment.
What's going on with him?
Russell Brand is currently has some sexual assault allegations against him. He's lost like TV shows.
Oh man.
He's lost a lot of shit over what these allegations, and I don't know if anything. We'll find out. But they obviously did a documentary saying, hey, Russell Brand's a piece of shit, and this is what he did. That one of those documentaries on Netflix where it's like they had it ready to go. Like what the fuck, man? Goddamn Illuminati. No, I'm kidding. Don't take us down, YouTube. No, just but yeah, he's been demonetized. He's been demonetized on YouTube. Like he makes no money now off of YouTube whatsoever. And they took his channel down too. I think they actually, yeah, dude. It's weird to me that this shit is happening in Tim versus Ray. Sadly, Tim is not on the show today, Ryan. So it's gonna be me and Pulse having fun. Just two guys farting around, getting wild on a Thursday. No, that hurt me to do. I'm sorry. But no, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, Russell Brand, like he's got that. And here's the best one I've heard so far, Pulse. This is wild, dude. The British government, British Parliament, wrote a formal letter to Rumble, which you can go follow us on Rumble. We need 4 more people to follow our channel so we can live stream from Rumble. So I'm thinking about dropping one of those and then taking another one off and going to Twitter. I think I'm gonna try new ways of getting our shit out there, Pulse. But yeah, fucking the British government asked Rumble to demonetize him.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. For speech? For speech. I know we have it in this country and it's an amazing thing, and you forget that other countries don't have that our level of freedom of speech in this country.
What is their beef with him? I mean, like I kind of feel like him and Michael Bisping, for that matter. I look at them as American now. Like they've been here for so long, making money in this country.
Russell Brand especially. Like Russell Brand has changed a lot since he's gotten sober. Like he got sober and then became like the guy we see now on the shorts and the reels and the Russell Brand show that he does. And I don't know what's real, what's fake. I don't know what I'm not making any kind of stuff. I'm more commenting on what's going on. I'm not justifying or any kind of stuff of what Russell may or may not have done. These are serious allegations, obviously, but it's fucking Russell Brand. He was a scumbag 30 years ago and or 20 years ago and nobody cared. Nobody batted an eye. It's like Bane, man. It's like Bane, Pulse. Nobody cared until I put on the conservative mask. Like nobody gave a shit about what Russell Brand did. He was fucking all this snow. Have you ever seen the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
How about Get Him to the Greek?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking all this snow is Russell Brand in a movie. Just a big piece of shit who somehow sobers up. Like, he just did. The media runs the world. No, corporations run the world, kids. George Carlin, it's a big club and you ain't in it.
So that's what I'm wondering. You think like that character that he played, is that him? Do you think that's him in real life?
It was at one point. It was famous. Like Russell Brand just being this psychotic weirdo, always doing drugs and drinking and calling people, puss
Like,
boxes and shit
did
or
you ever
whatever.
watch the show Entourage?
Off and on.
Okay, you know Jeremy Piven, right?
Yeah.
So
I hate his commercials.
right,
I hate those betting commercials. Do they do Houston references for you for the Houston commercials where it's like Jeremy Piven? He's the guy Jeremy where he's like balding, right?
yeah. I've never seen those commercials, but his character on that show, Ari Gold,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's really like that in real life, because some actors, like, okay, perfect example. Do you know who Orlando Brown is? He's a former
Orlando Brown?
Yes.
Wasn't there a wrestler named Orlando Brown?
Um,
Or no, I'm thinking Orlando.
I know you're talking about he kind of
He was like kind of gay, kinda. I mean, you remember his TNA days?
Yes, he came out there in caution tape. Yeah, I remember. No, Orlando Brown was an actor, a child actor who was on many different shows. Jamie Foxx show, Family Matters. Man, it's too bad I can't pull them up just so you can see what I'm talking about.
I'm looking up. Yeah, he looks familiar.
He was on That's So Raven when I was.
Yeah.
Well, it's just he
was
turned
in Major
out,
Pain. Yeah,
Major. Yeah, okay, yeah, he was in Major
Family
Pain.
Matters.
Yeah. You remember you seen Major Pain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the little guy on there, the little troublemaker.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
He was always typecast as this troublemaking kid, but it turns out he grew up in real life to be that same way in real life, the way he was portrayed on screen. So I guess that's what they call life imitating art,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That's what a lot of people are. Like performers especially. Performers, like, depending on the situation you grew up in, like child actors are always going to be fucked up because they were fucked. Like, the directors took advantage. We've heard the Nickelodeon stories and all that kind of shit. But like, yeah, some come out on the other side. Frankie Muniz is doing hair restoration shit now.
I heard. From what I've heard, he's doing all right. Like he didn't squander his money. He's if anything, he invested it right and has made way more money than he made on Malcolm in the Middle. So I guess he doesn't have to work. And then I heard he races cars or something like that.
Yeah, he races in NASCAR. He actually raced, I think, in a NASCAR race recently. Like qualified, didn't win, but he like qualified and everything to be in the field, I believe. Yeah, him and Travis Pastrana, which was hilarious for like I think it was the Daytona 500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so he's the exception to the rule, I guess, because a lot of them like you remember Edward Furlong?
Yeah,
from Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen him nowadays though?
Yeah, it's he was kind of fucked up though in the late 90s anyway. He was in the news along with Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Like it was him and Downey Jr. on a race to the bottom, and Downey hit it first and became Iron Man. Like,
yeah.
He was in a bad version of The Crow. I think it was like Crow 3 or something like that. They did like a Crow. It wasn't City of Angels, but it was something like that. Like Angels and Demons or some bullshit like thing played The Crow.
Okay. No, I missed that one.
Be glad you did.
Well, I remember he was great in Terminator 2 and in Pet Sematary. You remember Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
I always thought as a kid, I was like, man, this guy has a bright future. I guess I was wrong.
Well, drugs will do that to you because he had a problem. I mean, that was public as well. So
Yeah.
I think he's done a lot since. I mean, I will say this: he is in one of my favorite like rock and roll movies of all time, which is Detroit Rock City.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is, I've actually performed with the bartender from the male strip club. Or the fucking Chippendales place where Furlong was dancing and like doing all that shit.
Okay.
I've performed with his name's Aaron Berg. He's on Gas Digital actually. He's on he's with Louis J. Gomez and all those guys.
Oh, okay.
He was also in Brain Scan. I've never seen or heard of Brain Scan, but I will check it out. That sounds fun. But yeah, dude, Detroit Rock City is one of those fucking weird movies you can quote, but you also like have to watch the movie to like remember the quote sometimes. It's like, what's a fuck? I can't remember what. Oh, there it is, motherfucker. It
Yes.
hits you.
I guess it would qualify as a cult classic, or is that the right
Major
terminology for that? Did you ever see the movie SOC Punk?
Yeah, that's the one with Shooter McGavin and Scooby.
Yeah. Matthew Lillard.
Or not Scooby, fucking Shaggy. Yeah. I haven't seen the movie fully, but I do. My favorite like quote from that movie is the part where it's like, I didn't sell out, son. I bought in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because he plays such a dick. I love anything he's in, man.
Yeah, man. Speaking of that, man, like Sandler, man, what do you think about Adam Sandler?
I've always been an Adam Sandler fan. Do I think all of his movies rock? No, but I have my favorites, and few they're the obvious ones. They're like the big movies, Billy Madison and
Yeah, but see, that's been a criticism. A lot of people say after Madison and Gilmore, a lot of people said he kind of melded in, man. He's like,
I disagree on at least one of those movies, and that was the Longest Yard remake.
oh yeah, that's good.
And it's not because the script or anything like that. It felt like the old movie, but like for the new genre or for the new age of like football fandom, technology, all that kind of stuff. It was the old movie exactly the same way. Wasn't fucked with in a like
they even had Burt Reynolds in it.
I was about to say, yeah, they have fucking Burt Reynolds playing Nate Scarborough.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite characters, even in like the original. I love the original. The original is the best version, but that Sandler, and I'm one of those people that likes fucking You Don't Mess with the Zohan. I think Don't Mess with the Zohan is actually a pretty fucking funny movie. I'm in a minority, but hey, I don't give a fuck. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it was cool. It was all right.
Disco, good. Disco, good. Like all the funny Middle Eastern shit they used to do on SNL was done in that fucking movie, and you have to be like a deep cut SNL fan to really get some of that. Like they're like, you like the Jews, huh? Like they did all the good shit in that movie. Plus, what's her face? The mother, even for a big bitch, she was pretty hot. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't kick that out of bed. I haven't kicked that out of bed before, so it's a good movie. I think Zohan is like it's goofy if you go into it with that. Plus, Michael Buffer playing the heel in that movie.
Yeah.
And who is it? Dave Matthews plays like a white supremacist.
I don't remember that part.
Where he plays like one of the redneck white trash guys who's like, we're gonna get this done, and he was had like the mustache on. It was Dave fucking Matthews that played that character, and one of the bad guys in You Don't Mess with the Zohan. there's a lot of like soup cameos in that. Mariah Carey makes a random appearance, doesn't know where she's at. She played that character well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Buffer being in that. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Where do you rate Michael Buffer as an announcer?
Oh, he's at the apex. He's the best. To me, he's better than his brother. Like.
Well, I'll give you that.
Don't get me wrong. Bruce Buffer is cool. He's carved out his own niche, but it's like, to me, It's Time has always been the great value. Let's get ready to rumble. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Well, it's his though. I mean, he made it his thing.
Yeah.
Although he became wealthy off of Ready to Rumble, so you can't discount the fact that Bruce Buffer gets a cut every time something is sold for that. You know how many times I've wanted to like get a finder's fee for somebody using that in something and narking for the money? Do you know how many times I've done that? I've wanted to do that and haven't.
We're talking about Michael or Bruce? You're talking about Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Bruce, Bruce, he accepts he gives out finder's fees for people like saying, hey, they're using Let's Get Ready to Rumble, and I don't think you guys let them or whatever.
Right, so he like officially trademarked that. Like nobody else. That's crazy, man.
That video game, Ready to Rumble Boxing, they got a cut of that. The brothers did.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. You want to talk about marketing?
No, you know what? Because like I've heard about people getting rich just buying like domain names. Like something will get popular and people will buy the rights to it before it gets printed on a t-shirt. So that way, if it does get printed on a t-shirt, you got to pay them, And so I always wondered, is that a thing? Can I get in on that?
I mean, you'd have to think of a website name and hold on to it that people would want. Yeah, it's that you're filling your own need and then getting paid for it. Like it'd be like buying Oreo.com and sitting on it.
Right. Okay. Right. Well. Okay. So what is to stop somebody else from? Because Bro Plata is.
Oh, I guarantee you somebody owns the name already.
Oh, really?
I guarantee it. Because I would hope not. I haven't checked in a while. Last time I did, but trolls happen where they'll sit on. But we don't really have the what do you call that talent to be able to get a website right now. Sadly, I even had someone bought me my own domain, like rayhighclack.com. And I had it for a year and I just let it lapse because I'm like, nobody's ever going to want rayhighclack.com. What am I going to sell? Shitty t-shirts? I might, actually.
Oh, you know what you got to do? You got to holler at Jessie. She builds websites, I think, in her spare time.
Nice. I might have to. I know I have a guy, actually saw him yesterday at a show I did over in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, which is like 20 minutes from me. And it was a fun show. It was good. I worked on some stuff, but no, yeah. But where do you put them though? Like, because if I can speak, because I put to me the greatest of all time when it comes to like ring announcer is probably Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. You put him out. You rate him higher than Michael Buffer?
Yes. Okay. I'll tell you why. It's because like Michael Buffer, it to me is from the 80s to now has been one of the everybody knows who he is. He's famous. People do the line, the whole thing. But I love Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s style more than I like Michael or even Bruce's style. Like the high pitched voice sounds like it sounds old timey. Like it sounds like it could have been from the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. Any boxing era. I feel like his voice could fit in those eras better than like Michael Buffer, who for having the deep voice and though you remember this, the old WCW pay-per-views when he would fucking ring announce the main event of like the of big matches.
Yes.
And his commentary down, like I love Michael's commentary where it's like, he is the bad boy of boxing.
Yeah.
He does that shit very well.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Jimmy Lennon Jr. just he fucking works. It's just so good. He's my number one. I'd say Michael's number two, and then Bruce, and then it goes like Howard Finkel from the WWF. Like, it is time for the main event of the evening.
What's the guy's name? Spanish fella. He's like he does the UFC sometimes when Bruce is not there.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. Joe Martinez.
Joe Martinez. Why wasn't he on UFC Noche? Wouldn't it have made more sense for him to be there?
Because Bruce lives in Las Vegas and like probably Ubered into the arena wearing whatever suit he was wearing. He was I mean, Joe Martinez for UFC Noche would have been cool, but you got the best in the world at MMA ring announcing. You're gonna use him, especially since he doesn't have to pay for gas. I mean, he's making all the cash that night, not losing a cent. So
I wonder who has a better suit collection, him or the late Craig Sager. You remember the suits that he used to wear?
Yeah. Bruce has got some. Remember that orange and green one he wore once?
Yeah.
Dude, like some of his suit choices.
That's the thing, though. They're so ostentatious. Like you can only wear that one time. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only wear that blazer one time. Otherwise, people will make fun of you.
Oh, I think you might be right. I don't think he's worn the same suit jacket twice, but that's part of his appeal. Yeah. It's like a pro wrestler and his gimmick, like it's one of those cool things that somebody has and plus that's just straight up fuck you money. Like that is I'm just throwing my wealth in your face and introducing your favorite MMA fighters live in front of you.
They gotta be custom, right? He doesn't buy that off the rack, right?
He probably has somebody come to his house or he goes someplace to get something done. Yeah, I would assume. The suit he wore when I met him at UFC 210 was like shark skin. It looked awesome. It had a like purple and kind of teal look to it. Really dope.
You actually met him in person?
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't he tiny? Like, how tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'10".
Okay.
But I was also standing, like he was on the ground, and at this arena they had like the steel that comes the steel floor that comes out for like extra seating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was. So I was like maybe a couple more inches taller than him at that time. So we probably were the same height.
So he's not a tiny man?
I don't think he is.
Well, that's what I heard about him and Joe Rogan. I heard in real life Joe Rogan's like 5'5".
Rogan's small. Yeah. Like when the hack for anybody that wants to know that's never been to a UFC event is if you want to have a little bit of fun before the show, you go down to whatever hockey retaining wall that's in an arena or anything that's like stanchions, and if you get them on the right day, yell out, have your phone ready to go, fucking ready to go. I hate people who futz around with their shit. Have your camera on, dummies. Have them on. You have it, click, boom. We're done with the game. All right? Fast in, out. I am a picture wizard. Tim has seen it. I was ready for that Joaquin Buckley fucking shot in Vegas. I just needed to get in there. What I was going to say was, just yell, hey, Bruce, and they'll come over. John Anik, same thing. When I met him at 210 as well. That was probably the best UFC event I've ever had personally, besides 203. 203 will be number one and always number one because I saw Stipe Miocic blast Overeem in the face in fucking standing open guard. It was fantastic.
And you got to see CM Punk get his ass whooped, man.
It was a very weird moment in my life for both of those things to happen, Pulse. It was.
How big of a pop did he get when in Living Color because like if I remember correctly, he didn't tell anybody what his entrance music was going to be. People just assumed it was going to be the same as wrestling. So how big?
Everybody knew it. It was big. It was bigly. Everybody knew it was huge. And then when he went down on the floor, that's when it became, oh no, he's not gonna be there. It wasn't good. It wasn't like you heard this like run CM Punk, and then Mickey Gall double legged him, and it was you saw it in the room inflate, and then as fast as you could possibly, like a fat kid landing on a balloon, it just went, like it just exploded.
Wait, so was that Stipe's first title defense?
Yeah.
And when he won, like how big of a crowd eruption was that?
It was. Have you ever been in like a crowd so loud it hurts your ears, like it's piercing?
Yeah.
It was that. Like I was hammered. I was stoned. I was every bit more fucked up than I should have been. But like I had to like cover my ears and like look down because like the whole place was just disorientating. It was some of the best sports energy I've ever felt in my life. You could tell the city of Cleveland and like the Croatian people were just out there. They were having a blast, bruh. Like it was crazy. It was
Imagine how somber would have been if he lost, though. That's because if I remember correctly, he got dropped in the first round.
He did. Yeah. And the crowd, again, like the crowd was very into it, and they were like, and then Overeem punches him right in the face. Yeah. Stipe goes down, and you hear like everybody just like shh, and we started cheering for Stipe again, and it was tense for that, and it was only one round. You forget that, like that fight only lasted one fucking round, and Stipe just fucking thunderbolted right through his ass. And just like completely stormed him, rushed him, tried to get him where he could, and got out of that guillotine choke pretty easily. But yeah, man, that place shook. It like physically shook. You felt it. It was awesome. One of the best nights of my life.
Can you remember who else was on that card? Was anybody else of name on that card?
They had Betch Correa versus Jessica Evil Eye.
Oh yeah.
I got to see Uriah Faber.
Oh yeah. Who'd he fight?
Oh God. Jimmy something.
Oh, okay.
Mexican guy, I think, or a Brazilian. Jimmy something. Fuck.
That's not important, but I mean, I was just wondering, like, yeah, so because they try to stack pay-per-view, so I'm just wondering.
It was not like, I mean, it was like stacked, but it wasn't like super. Oh my god! You had Verdum versus Travis Brown,
That's right. Where you open it up with the flying front kick. Yeah,
which I missed.
you told me that. How did that happen? How did you miss it?
It's one of those things where you look around, you're taking in the sights of, oh my god, two legendary heavyweights are like in my hometown. We're about to get it going, and you hear whoa, and I'm like, no, what did I miss? What did I miss? Fuck! It happened. That happened a few times at UFC 285. There were times where all of a sudden I'd be looking around and hear, whoa! I'm like, what did I fucking miss? What did I miss? Hopefully nothing.
Who headlined that card?
285. That was the John Jones card.
Oh, okay. Jones versus Cormier.
Gone.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, you were there.
Yeah, me and Tim went to that.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I went to that.
I missed Ricardo Ramos. Spinning elbow KO at UFC Austin. I was looking at some dude in the crowd. It's happened. It sucks. 210 was Cormier Johnson 2.
You saw that one?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the fourth one that I've been, the third one that I was at was Blades versus Dawkins in Columbus. Okay. Yeah, we drove down to Columbus for that one. And I spilled beer on people by accident. It was bad. But yeah, dude. To me, honestly, the best one will always be UFC 203 because it was the first one I'd ever been to, and it was in my hometown. Like I never thought Cleveland, Ohio, would ever pay host to fucking a goddamn pay-per-view with Stipe Miocic in it, and then boom, and then 6 months later we're in Buffalo. It was wild. That's the card I don't remember a lot of.
Who was that one?
There were like now names, like people who were like weren't really big names back then. Like I don't know, Jan Blachowicz, Kamaru Usman versus Sean Strickland.
Yeah, you were there for that?
Yeah, I was there for the UFC Buffalo card.
Wow. Okay, so you saw two future champs before they were champs.
Yeah. That was a wild one because like that one also had fuck, what else did it have? It had Ill Will Brooks was on that one.
Oh yeah. I remember.
He took on Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let me bring up this card because I always forget how insane this card was.
Man, Will Brooks, man, you talk about a guy that fell off, man.
Yeah.
He was Bellator champion. Did he even win a fight in the UFC?
I don't think so. I mean, his record's 18-4, so it's not that totally shite, but it's pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, did he? Yeah, he did. He beat British guy. I can't remember his name. But I think that was his only win in the UFC. But yeah, he lost to Nick Lentz. He lost to Oliveira.
No, sorry to interrupt. What were you gonna say?
No, that's it. Yeah, he just fell off kind of hard.
So this is from bottom to top.
Okay.
And you read this, some of this, you're like, what the? How the fuck do you not remember this? I do not remember this. Magomed Biblotov beats Janelle Lausa. Okay. Caitlin Jukagian takes on Irene Aldana.
Okay.
We'll go a little bit up. Josh Emmett on the early prelims. Josh Emmett taking on Desmond Green and losing by decision.
Wow.
The feature on the early prelims was Gregor Gillespie taking on Andrew Holbrook. What?
The fuck happened to Gregor Gillespie? He got knocked out by Kevin Lee. We haven't seen him since.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off, man.
Yeah.
This one's weird. Patrick Cummins and his awesome stash taking on Jan Blachowicz to start off your prelims of the evening for UFC 210.
Wow.
Shane Burgos versus Charles Rosa.
Okay.
Kamaru Usman takes on your current 185-pound UFC champion, Sean Strickland. Miles Jury versus Mike De La Torre was the featured prelim. And then it gets weirder. Will Brooks versus Charles Oliveira. Thiago Alves versus Patrick Cote.
Okay.
Patrick Cote retired right after this fight. Like in the octagon, he said, "Hey, I'm out. Have a good night," and retired. Like, oh, holy fuck, Patrick Cote just left. Cynthia Calvillo taking on Pearl Gonzalez.
Okay.
Low key, high fucking volume. This is actually a really good card. The co-main was the worst part about the whole night, to be honest with you, because that was Gegard Mousasi and Chris Weidman. The Lift. Do you remember the Lift?
I do remember that. That ended in some controversy right there.
Oh yeah, and I mean when Dan Miragliotta went to the replay, I mean it was over. We just officially it was it was ruled a TKO by Dan Miragliotta. So and then Cormier Johnson too, which was awesome. Seeing DC run out to the fucking thing. We were on the opposite side of the cage, so we were like from where they were for the entrances. But dude, it was fucking. You look at that now and you're like, what the? Who did I fucking see? What? Crazy.
That's just crazy. Cynthia Calvillo and Pearl Gonzalez were on a card where Kamaru Usman and Sean Strickland were on the undercard. That's just crazy to think.
I know.
Okay, so the pay-per-view in Cleveland, that's your favorite event that you've ever seen live. But what is your favorite UFC card of all time? Is that it? I know mine.
Looking back on it, no. If we're talking about ones I've seen, just based off of the future star power of the card, it's 210.
The entertainment value. Oh, which one? 210?
210. Because, Charles Oliveira getting the backpack to start the night off on the pay-per-view against Will Brooks definitely, kept us going. And then...
No. I mean your favorite pay-per-view of all time, even if you just watched it on TV.
I have a personal favorite for that one, and that was BJ Penn, Diego Sanchez. I'm gonna look up whatever that one was. Penn versus Sanchez. UFC 107 that happened in 2009. Because the fight between Diego Sanchez and BJ Penn was one of the bloodiest, most fast-paced. That was back in the UFC days where the lighter weights were just swinging at each other because they knew they could. And BJ Penn opens up a huge bruise that was developing on Diego Sanchez's head. That was in a perfect isosceles triangle when it finally burst open from a head kick.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a wild one. That would probably be my favorite one personally because it was one of the only times I actually saw it in a bar with my dad. So that was before he passed. So at least I had that great memory of him reacting to the pizza slice that was taken out of Diego Sanchez's cranium. He just kept going, Jesus.
Yeah, Diego Sanchez has taken some punishment in his career, hasn't
I
he?
mean, Jesus, man, that guy, he's gonna. I'm surprised he can still like form cogent sentences. The fucking beatings he's been through, like a lot of those old guys, man. Some of them didn't take well. Others took care of themselves a lot.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Well, so mine is, anytime anybody asks me what's my favorite UFC card, I gotta say UFC 217 has got to be because, and I think it's the greatest card of all time because there were 3 championship fights on that card, and all 3 belts switched hands that night. So that's like such a rare occurrence you'll never see happen again.
Oh yeah,
The first one
yeah,
was we saw Rose Namajunas dethrone Joanna Jędrzejczyk, which that was
powerful knockout.
yes, like nobody saw that coming because Joanna was just running through people at that time. And then in the co-main, we saw T.J. Dillashaw.
Needle Shaw.
Yeah, right. And we saw him beat Garbrandt, which
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that coming because I thought they were pretty much the same fighter. I always looked at Cody as being a little bit more gangster, and I figured he hit harder, so I was surprised that happened. And then in the main event, we saw George St. Pierre submit Michael Bisping to take the middleweight belt. So
Yeah, that one was
yeah,
set off the head kick that fucked him up, and then got him in the. Was it a rear naked?
yeah, RNC, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wild night because I was sitting at a buddy of mine's parents' house watching the fights, and and GSP just lands that hell of a fucking head kick that he had,
Yeah.
and just you saw everybody kind of shoot up, going, "Is this fucking real? Like, is GSP about to become the
Yeah.
185-pound champion
Yeah.
or 170? Was it 170?
No, it's 185 middleweight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, dude! Like, what? Get
Yeah.
the what?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I was
That's
big
why I
that
kind of
night.
wish that's why I kind of wish he stayed because as soon as he did that and then he relinquished the belt sometime after, but it's like right then was when like Adesanya was coming into the picture. So I always wanted to see what that would look like if GSP took on Adesanya.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. I think honestly, GSP would have beat him on wrestling.
It's hard for me to disagree with that because but then there's always a chance that he could knock out GSP. He's got knocked out before.
Yeah, yeah, that Michael Cera knockout, or not Michael Cera,
That's there, yeah.
Matt Cera, two different people. But yeah, that Matt Cera knockout, still to this day, one of the wildest highlights I've ever seen. Is that Long Island, that fucking Long Island mook just like throwing hands
Yeah.
on fucking GSP is nuts, dude.
Yeah, he was hooking, he was swinging, and everything was connecting, and it was like it was just crazy to see. I remember that was in Houston. Okay, so that's brings me to my next one. What if you had to? Could you, thinking back, name your favorite knockouts of all time in the UFC, or maybe top 3?
Top 3 I could.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to put the Stipe knockout because that was a legitimate knockout as number 1 because I saw it live, so it's going to be embedded in my head for the rest of my life. Watching the life of another man go out of his body from a man's fist is quite lovely live. But yeah, Stipe's number 1. Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, I knew it.
The mule kick still is one of my favorite knockouts ever.
It was great. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't make my top 3, but it comes in at number 4 on mine. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if a lot of people, it's subjective. I understand that. And then number 3. Actually, Stipe's made the list again. If I'm thinking about it,
For DC.
the DC
Oh, yeah.
knockout of Stipe
Yeah.
was when he just comes out of a weird wizard fucking and just puts his fist right in fucking Stipe's face and knocks him out.
Yeah.
My favorite part about that is afterwards, Stipe looks up at the referee and is like, "What happened?"
Right.
It was like it's the perfect knockout scenario for.
He couldn't believe it, didn't he? Wasn't that Mergliata who was reffing that one? I think, or was
I
it?
thought it was Herb.
Okay, well, whoever it was, I remember he pushed him because he was in such disbelief. He's like, no, I did not get knocked out. And then the ref's like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I mean, he was out. That one was wild. Like that one, because I thought he was gonna beat DC. Like he was on such a roll.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a possibility. I mean, I'd seen DC live at a heavyweight or light heavyweight.
I did not think that because at that time DC was the light heavyweight champion, Stipe was the heavyweight champion, and I knew DC had fought at heavyweight before, but I was like, there's just no way, and he did it, first round knockout. That's crazy.
Yeah, especially when he had his arm and he did a level change and then came up with that fist. It was so gnarly, bro. I watched it for free on the internet because I was poor at the time.
Yeah,
still am poor. But yeah, man, it's probably my third favorite, just because of how shocking it really was that DC like just clobbered him, just beat his ass, and then Stipe, fucking beats him by knockout twice,
right,
and fucks the whole Dana's whole thing up. He wanted the American wrestler versus the fucking Cameroonian, which, to be honest with you, Dana, for Francis to become champion, a lot of stars had to align. If you really look back at Francis's rise from being just a heavyweight knockout artist to the world heavyweight champion of the UFC for a year and only fighting once. Which I hold that against him every single time, and that's why I want the PFL thing to just drop out. I've never All Elite Wrestling and Francis Ngannou are the two I want to fail most in life. But just he wasn't a draw. But the thing with Francis having to do that was DC having to lose. DC had to lose that fight for Francis to win the heavyweight championship, because I don't think, I'm sorry, no matter what you say, I think DC would have just fucked the shit out of him for probably 3 rounds and then went in for the submission. Probably, I would say.
You're talking about Ngannou.
Yeah, I think he would have played with his food for about 3 rounds and then would have dispatched Francis with the quickness. If he could avoid, which I do think he could have easily avoided Francis's power, because DC did have good head movement, and the duck unders are pretty good for him.
No, people have asked that, in different forums online. It was like, who would have won, DC or Ngannou? I said DC all day, because it's pretty much. It's pretty much the same thing he had to go through with fighting the late Anthony Rumble Johnson. Just avoid getting your head taken off and wrestle,
The tension in that second fight was so good, Pulse. With live, you felt it in the audience. Like, you felt because this is Pulse. Tim working in his backyard again. No, Tim's taking the day off. We're giving him the day off. Mickey Gall was afraid to trade fisticuffs with CM Punk. 2 joints and a bear. Come on. Have another Coke. You need the sugar. But no, Tim's taking a mental health day. He'll be back on Tuesday. And Tim drank too much bourbon last night. I possibly it is a depressant alcohol. That's why I like weed more. Yeah. But yeah, man, I honestly think just because Stipe was able to do it pretty easily against Francis before he got better at sprawling.
Yeah.
So once he put them, once he put them big ass feet of his into the ground and said no, that's when you're like, shit. But then obviously he's, I'm representing the fighters.
Yeah.
Meh.
Okay, so let me give you my top 3 knockouts.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, number 3 is to this day is one of my favorite knockouts. It was number 1 till it got surpassed, obviously. But Edson Barbosa knocking out Terry Edom. You remember that one?
Which one was that?
Spinning heel kick.
Oh yeah.
Edom, his body just locked up. It froze. His arms went like this, and he just fell backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that comes in number 3 for me. Number 2 for me is Ngannou when he turned Overeem into a surfboard, man. That was. I remember watching it live. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Which one was this?
Francis Ngannou versus Alistair Overeem.
Oh yeah.
Uppercut. He just caught him, and
the memes were so good.
Yeah.
Like the Sandals Resort one.
I remember when Magic School Bus won. They sent Overeem to the moon. He's like, "You can fly now." He says, "Ah, you can." Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was. So yeah, that's number 2, and then to me, number 1. To this day, I still say it's the greatest knockout in UFC history is Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren, man. That's the greatest thing ever, man. Like it's just great, man. Like he aced him in one foul swoop, and it's just the greatest thing ever, Like, I mean, when you think of the fact that they had animosity towards each other, and he mapped it out, you could just tell, like they were talking shit to each other before the fight, and I just feel like Jorge
roasted.
I feel like he was mapping it out. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 steps to the left, and I'm just gonna time this perfect, and he did it, and yeah, man, basically killed Askren's career, because if you remember, Askren didn't win a single fight after that.
No.
And he was undefeated. He was undefeated before that fight.
Yeah, he was getting knocked out a lot after that. Like
he got knocked out by Jake Paul after that. That's how bad that knockout was.
So that one is so special just because, like you said, he just did a 2-step and just gave
and went into a full sprint. And then you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever play the game Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah.
You remember the intro to that game where the 2 ninjas, they met in like a field and they both ran towards each other and sprinted up in the air, and one of the ninjas disemboweled the other one in midair, and then they both landed, and then the one ninja, he looks around and he's like, "Oh shit, I've just been disemboweled," and he like collapses. That's what that was like, man.
Oh yeah.
It was a real life flawless victory, just one foul swoop, boom. And it was so clean that I almost wish he didn't hit him with the 2 follow-up shots on the ground, because it just would have been cleaner if he just hit him with the knee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, the 2 shots is what kind of drops it out of top 3 contention for me, because you kill, especially. Like he sent his brains into the cheap seats anyway, so it was.
I know. He said they asked him after the fight, was that necessary? He's like, it was super necessary. Yeah, man, it was just everything about that was great to me, man.
the hands behind the back.
Yeah.
Like he was so. Who's the one Polish girl? Really cute.
Young JJ? Or I know what you're talking about.
Valentina something, right? I think it's Valentina something or other. God damn it. Hold on. Valentina Polish MMA. Oh, that sounds. Or was it Christina? I can't remember. Fuck's her name? Polish MMA fighters. I need it. I need it right now.
Some clam. That's funny.
Huh?
No, I was just reading Johnny Smith's comment. He said some clam.
Some clam. All right.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of a name right now. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking bothering me. I'm going to Tapology right fucking now. I need it. I need it. Karolina Kovalkiewicz.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even find her, but it just hit me immediately. I'm like, but just doing that Carolina fucking lean behind.
Yeah. Just chill right there on the fence, you know?
Oh, it was like he was back in the fucking he was back in the Kimbo days.
Yeah.
Where he's beating up on Ray. You know, he's fucking someone up. He had death stare on him to a level where he was so annoyed. You could tell he was ready.
That's what made it so great because, you know, especially when there's animosity, you know how when you're mad at somebody, you can't, sometimes it's hard to get your words out right.
Yeah.
It's hard to do things, you know, and he was able to like reserve himself until the exact moment when he needed to, you know, knock him the fuck out. And it's like, you know, like even when we do this show sometimes we have an idea of what we want to do and it doesn't go off quite the way we want to, you know, when we start the show. He was able to like harness his hatred for Askren until the exact moment when he was just going to explode on him, you know, and that's why I call that the greatest knockout in the history of the UFC to me.
Yeah, dude. It's definitely, I could see why you would think that because it is such. I mean, I was so old school. Like that to me seemed like it was an NHB fight almost because it just ended early. It was. Do you remember? You know who Earthquake is, right?
The comedian?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a great getting. What's the corned beef? I got corn. I actually can say this. I got corned beef with Earthquake at like 8 a.m. in the morning. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But he has a joke about marriage where it's like marriage is like a heavyweight championship fight. It's scheduled for 12 rounds, but it's going to end early.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly how you can describe that fight. And yeah, the buildup was great. Everything about how they sold it, it was perfect.
Yeah.
And for it to go off the way it did was just gorgeous. Because that was a brain. Have you ever had those moments in life where your brain really doesn't process what's happening until you see a replay of it?
Right.
I had to literally like get my brain together from what I had just
like,
seen.
Did that just happen? And it's like, yeah, it did. Now, I will say this: honorable mentions for favorite knockouts. I gotta put Michael Chandler versus Kukui, even though I kind of hated it because I was a fan of Kukui, but that was a great one. That took me by surprise.
The thing with that though is, and we've discussed this on this show a plethora of times, and he's played, and Tony's fighting Rachmanov coming up too.
Is that for real?
I believe it. I think it's real. I don't know if Tony's trolling or not, but I've seen it around.
Oh man.
Yeah. Why? Why are we doing this? If it's real,
man.
I hope it's a troll. Really, I do. I'm waiting until they formally put it up on my television screen that he's gonna be fighting Shavkat Rachmanov. But At that time, Tony, this was there's two eras now that we can look at and put an exact date on when it happened in combat sports history, and that was pre-Gaethje and post-Gaethje.
Yeah.
Gaethje took something.
Yes, he did. He was before that fight. Tony Ferguson won like 10 or 11 straight.
Yeah.
And after that fight, he hasn't won since. So it's like, yeah, that you can bookmark that as the point in history when it all changed.
Yeah, man. Like, to me, and I'm a fan of Tony Ferguson. I have a poster of a fight that never happened.
Yeah.
In my possession, him and Khabib. I actually have a legitimate like UFC fight bar poster from that fight that I took from a local bar that I used to drink at a lot. It's one of my prized possessions in life because it's something that never happened ever.
Yeah.
But the Ferguson at that point, I knew Chandler was going to win that fight. I think everybody kind of knew Ferguson wasn't going to win that fight. But damn, did he get he got turned like devolved.
Yeah, you seen that still photo. His face just like rippled up.
It's I hats off to that photographer, by the way, for getting such good high-speed film and a high-speed camera for that exact moment in time to be just crystallized forever. Like, I'll show my grandkids that fucking shit where it's like, look at this. It's from my day before they allowed mutants in.
Yeah.
Before they were genetically modified.
Yeah.
That one. But what was the other one?
Oh, well, two more.
Okay.
Diego Sanchez, when he fought Matt Brown caught him with one of the cleanest knockouts, the elbow. He just slashed him with the elbow the way he fell. That one, and then still to this day, I gotta say, probably the most surprising knockout of all time. The main event of UFC 194, Conor McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo in seconds, man. I figured when they booked that fight, and I hated Conor, man. I was like, please don't let Jose lose, man. And I assumed that it was gonna be like a war, like a 5-round war. But no, it ended in seconds, man, in front, and like Jose got knocked out in front of all of his people and shit, and I was just like, holy shit, man. He did it. McGregor did it. He talked all that shit, and then he went in there and did it, man.
Yeah, that one was awesome. That's one of my favorite knockouts for one of my favorite Conor knockouts. Dustin, when they first fought, that was always a great one when he just beat the brakes off of fucking Dustin Poirier.
Yeah.
But that Aldo knockout.
Yeah.
The rent free, isn't he? He owned the building lease free.
Yeah.
In Jose Aldo's head. Like Joe
Rogan actually on commentary, he called it perfectly. He's like, you look at Conor, he's nice and relaxed. And then they pan the camera over to Jose Aldo, and he just looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like he knew something
he looked soft.
Yeah.
Like his body wasn't, you could tell he wasn't really in like super good shape.
Yeah.
We've seen Aldo with a 6-pack. Like we've seen him, but
the way he had his head down, I feel like he knew something was coming. Like he
looked gray. I mean,
he did not look confident. He did not look confident at all.
No, he looked gray. He looked defeated. Like he looked sick.
Yeah.
Like Conor fucked with him on a level that I don't think, and I don't like those kind of fighters to begin with. I like a guy like Conor, or somebody who's cool, calm. Sean O'Malley to me, he's so calm and collected until he gets hit, and then it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to fight. But even Strickland, same thing. I mean, he looks like he's trying to take your fucking head off, but like he has really no respect for you until you slap him. Like, I love those kind of guys. They're fun.
Okay, and then one more I gotta say, to this day, one of my favorite knockouts, Derek Lewis, the comeback knockout on Alexander Volkov, when he was getting his ass kicked for the whole fight, and then the last 13 seconds of the fight, he comes back and wins it.
Yeah.
Takes his shorts off. My balls was hot, and it's just that's his introduction to the world. Like, this is Derek Lewis, man. And that's when he became a star that night. Changed his whole life. That one knockout.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
That was correctly. They said before that fight he was driving a Buick Regal. After that fight, he's driving a Lamborghini Huracan. So it's like,
love it.
That one knockout changed his whole life, you know?
Basic stereo. He seems like a guy that wouldn't put something, like he would buy the car but keep everything stock, just because he doesn't want to spend the money he already made. Like, I like that about him. And yeah, that one was great. Curtis Blades one.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah,
where he just uppercuts his fucking chin into the ceiling. Like, it was. Oh, that's such a good one, dude. That Volkov one. That was the wake up call for MMA fans to take a look at Derek Lewis, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The balls was hot thing became a meme.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love Derek Lewis. Always will. I knew he was going to lose the DC too.
Yeah, see, that's another reason why I have DC beating Ngannou. The way he handled Derek Lewis in that fight, he like ankle picked him. He picked him up by his ankle. Derek Lewis is not a small guy, and DC just handled him by his ankle, just put him on the ground. And I'm like,
yeah,
wrestling is something serious.
Yeah, wrestling's no joke. Wrestling's no joke if you're really, really good at it. It can be boring as balls, but like, luckily DC gets to the point, unlike Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like, Khabib will take a nap on your chest before he goes for a fucking like thing. I don't know why. Get to the point. Finish your fucking food, dude. We got a movie to catch. Let's go.
Yeah,
fucker. Sorry, I'm not a fan of Khabib at all, as you can tell. But yeah, those are great knockouts, man. Like, I will say, my personal favorite all-time MMA knockout that I've ever seen in my life was not at a UFC event. It was at a bar in Indianapolis, Indiana, at an MMA show that I was doing camera for.
Okay.
And the kid who got knocked out was he was an independent fighter, because like you can have those in amateur MMA where it's like it's not gym affiliated, it's just some guy off the couch.
Yeah.
He apparently all he did for training was he hit and kicked a punching bag that was in his garage, and for cardio he was a cell phone tower climber.
Oh, okay.
And he got head kicked. Pulse, when I say this kid in the second round got head kicked so hard, I saw his ghost come in. He laid there for a while. Like, it was bad, but it was a hell of a knockout, bro. Hell of a knockout.
Do you ever, like, because I know if you don't have to, you probably wouldn't want to spend the money on a pay-per-view. Do you ever go to the bar and watch fights?
Used to. That's how I got into the UFC.
Yeah.
My fandom of the UFC kind of started with the video games more than anything.
Okay.
And also like Ken Shamrock in the WWF.
Right, I was gonna ask, were you watching back in the No Holds Barred days, or were you did you get into it later?
I got into it later. I saw the Rampage Jackson Chuck Liddell fight for free somehow. My DirecTV the channel was free.
Oh, okay.
No clue why. Absolutely no clue why. But it was free, and I got to watch that fight and I knew who like Rampage was from. I think the Pride video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first game he was in, the Pride video game, and then like when they bought Pride and they had the fights and everything like that. But yeah, my introduction was like the UFC game and UFC Throwdown for the PlayStation 1. Like
Okay.
those, you remember how fucking janky those used to be, bro?
Yeah, man, old school. Like all those games, even the wrestling games back then, the graphics are just so. We've come a long way. Tech has come a long way since then.
It's not even the systems. Do you
Yeah.
remember like the systems that they used to use? It looked like two jumping beans, just like kind of like switching positions, and then all of a sudden you're inside control. All of a sudden you're in north south.
Yeah, but it's like I used to like. I remember. You remember the game Virtual Fighter?
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, I was like, "Oh man, this is the shit." Now I play it, and it's like, "Man, this is shitty." Like, how are we entertained by this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just games have just become so much more advanced.
Yeah, man. The worst MMA game that I ever played, I think, was actually UFC Throwdown.
Okay.
Yeah, it had the blue cover. Because I also had the one that opened with the singled out. You remember that old fucking song they used to try where it was like, it's in my head, I'm full of doubt. It was in. I know it was in one of the UFC video games.
Okay.
Such cheese butt metal. Like it's such cheese butt metal, but it's so good every once in a while. And it had like Pat Miletich was in it.
Okay.
I think Jens Pulver was fucking in that game.
Yeah, old school.
Gary Good.
Do you remember a game, a WCW game? I believe it was on the original PlayStation.
Okay.
And the intro for it was this guy was driving in an 18-wheeler, and some guy was on the street, and you just see these two trash cans flare up.
I think that was Thunder.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think that was WCW Thunder.
Okay. Well, it's just I remember the game back in the day as a kid, but then I remember watching like the intro on YouTube, and I'm like, man, this is horrible, man. Like the graphics on this is just horrible, man. What were we entertained by back then?
It was top of the line shit though back then, man. Yeah, you're like, oh my god, Kevin Nash kind of looks like Kevin Nash. You're like, if you squint, you can make out Hulk Hogan's face. The ECW games though were the worst.
Oh yeah,
they were so bad because it was still like that Warzone graphics and handling, like how everything was.
Yeah.
SmackDown improved a little bit, but wasn't great. Like SmackDown what was great about like the SmackDown franchise was it introduced realistic movement.
Yeah.
Over graphics, because the graphics in the first couple of fucking SmackDowns were god fucking awful.
Well, all those old PlayStation games, I pretty much feel the same way about all of them. But you know what stands the test of time? I gotta say, if you were to go back and play Twisted Metal, it still holds up. You know?
Yeah. I was a big Twisted Metal kid growing up.
Me too. Yeah, man. I wish they bring it back.
Me too. I think that'd be kind of cool, and like especially with the new graphics, you get that shit going. Have Samoa Joe do the mocap for it because I haven't seen the Twisted Metal series yet.
Yeah, has that come out already?
Yeah, it's out on Peacock.
Okay. I need to check that out. So what is it? A whole season has already gone by, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was like a limited series, but I could be wrong.
Okay, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, he plays Sweet Tooth, right?
Yeah, Will Arnett voices Sweet Tooth, but Samoa Joe's the body of Sweet Tooth.
And do you remember the one black dude? He just had 2 tires on his arms. Do you remember this?
Yeah, Axel.
Axel, that's right.
Yeah. Because remember, in the 90s, you had to have totally tubular puns.
You know what's crazy? Like, you remember the first Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I understand that it's real campy, but I don't give a damn. I love that. I
A
like
lot of people do.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I love that movie. Don't get me wrong. But what were you gonna say about it?
No, I appreciate campy movies sometimes. Like all the Final Destinations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are fun, man. Because it's just they're not running from a movie villain. They're running from death.
Yeah.
And the way the death comes for them, and then the way the scenes just get like the one where they had where they were at the theme park. You remember that one?
It wasn't like Final Destination 3D or something.
I think so, yeah. And you just see they're on the Ferris wheel or they're on the roller coaster, and you see just one screw start to unloosen itself and shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it's going down, you know. And I like campy shit like that, you know.
Oh yeah, Idle Hands. If you remember that movie,
Yeah, man. Yeah, okay.
like that movie is so good, man. It's so trash. Like it's so low budget, but it's so good. Like it's well written.
Oh, actually, did you ever watch Walker Texas Ranger?
A little. I was young for that. Like, because I'm we were both sort of young for the Walker Texas Ranger shit.
But
I
just
caught it in syndication.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like watching it in reruns, it's still campy as shit, but it's funny though, because it's like Walker Texas Ranger. This dude is a Texas Ranger. He has a gun, but he doesn't use it. He'll use kung fu on some Latin kings and shit like that. They'll surround him, and he'll just beat all their asses. When if he wanted to, he could just shoot them. You know.
I remember it was a big event in our house when Go Giants MMA holes. The Steelers won on Monday, so I'm happy, very happy. But go Giants, go Giants. But it was a big event in our house when Walker Texas Ranger had Steve Austin on it.
Yeah.
Like my dad made a point where he's like, Steve Austin's gonna be a Walker Texas Ranger. We need to watch it. And my dad was like in his probably late 30s at the time. He was a man child. He was fantastic. But it was like what was the other? Oh, I'll give you a good wrestling one that you probably will remember. But Thunder in Paradise.
Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan, man. Yeah.
Sting is like the bad guy. What, Shark wasn't his name? Wasn't his name like something stupid like that, like Shark or a Slasher or so? He was like the rival to fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was his fucking name? What was Sting's name in that? Because it was Sting from fucking WCW.
Right.
Thunder in Paradise.
I know you remember No Holds Barred though, right?
Yeah, No Holds Barred's a good movie. I love the Hulk Hogan movies.
Yeah.
I like them because they are like what you said. They're campy.
Right.
They're stupid. A lot of Mr. What was the
Mr.
Nanny one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Nanny, I think.
Yeah.
A Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
Those are good movies. To me, they're fun. They're
the
good.
Movie Commando. You remember that with Schwarzenegger?
Oh yeah, he has the guy from the Warriors over the cliff.
Yeah, holding back. Yeah.
You remember when I told you I'd kill you last? Yeah, Matrix. I lied.
Yeah. Man.
What's your favorite Schwarzenegger line ever?
I thought you were going to ask what's my favorite movie of his.
Well, you can do that one as well.
To this day, I got to go T2, man. That's
okay.
That is to me that's his best work. That is his best work. And if I had to say line, It will probably be "I'll be back" because he said it in two different movies. You know, in Running
Yeah.
Man and in Terminator. So
Didn't Terminator came out before Running Man? Yes.
the first Terminator, but then T2
Okay.
he said "I'll be." But yeah, he's okay. So I guess he said it in three different movies.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking like because that was Running Man was like what was it 80? I think it was like 85.
I think so.
Because that has my favorite. That's my favorite Schwarzenegger movie because
Okay.
I like it for two reasons. One, again, the camp in it. It's just, what am I watching? Like, this is strange, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jesse the Body Ventura, man.
That's another reason why I love that movie.
And you remember when she was buying the Coke from the Coke machine, she put like $15 in there.
Yeah.
They were saying that like that's how inflation will be in the future. You know?
There's a few things that are kind of going that way. I mean, and Richard Dawson in that movie where he's like, people like their wrestling, Ben. They like their violence.
Yeah.
Perfect analogy for today. Like,
yeah. Because it was like American Gladiators on steroids, you know?
Fuck yeah. That's why I love it. Fucking love that movie.
What about Total Recall? Where do you rate that one?
Total Recall is good. Like those movies, like the serious Arnold movies, don't really hit with me as much as like Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love when he's Ben Richards. I love when he's
Ooh, did you ever see Last Action Hero?
Yeah.
That one's underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh man, what's the one with he's got the sixes? The Hell movie with Satan and all that stuff.
I know what you're talking about. Was it called From Hell?
No,
I never saw it though. But that that one, like Eraser, those are all right. I don't rate those as high though. You seen Eraser?
I don't think I've seen Eraser.
Okay, it was good, but I don't rate it as high. That one and True Lies.
True Lies is a good movie though.
It's okay to me.
And by the way, it was End of Days.
End of Days, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, End of Days. End of Days is a wild one. End of Days is a coke dream. Like that's like who comes up with this shit?
Have you ever seen a movie called Red Dawn with him?
Schwarzenegger was in Red Dawn.
I believe that's the name of it. I just remember he was fighting these dudes in the snow, these big old Russian guys in the snow.
I mean, it might be there. Red Dawn, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I believe that's the name of it. Let me look it up.
Red. Red something. Red Heat?
That might have been it. It was Red
with
something.
Jim Belushi?
No. That's
there's a movie called Red Heat. It's got Lawrence Fishburne, Jim Belushi, Gina Gershon. Remember Gina Gershon for a hot minute?
Red Heat. That's the name of this movie. Yes.
Red Heat?
Yes.
Yeah, with I've never seen this movie, never heard of it in my life. I want to watch it now, though.
You should. I highly recommend.
Is it on anything? It's on Vudu. What?
Oh, I know where you can find it. I'll send it to you in the Discord.
I love it.
And then Predator was great.
Predator's great. It's such a good movie. Ventura going, I haven't got time to bleed. Is fantastic. What was the other line that he did? He had a few of them. Close only is counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Fuck. I know a lot more Captain Freedom lines than I do anything else.
Well, that movie was great because in real life, Jesse Ventura actually was a Navy SEAL. You know,
He was a frog man, a Navy SEAL.
leapfrog, yeah.
I, I, Will Sasso does a way better one. Like Will Sasso, it crushes a Jesse Ventura impression. I love whenever I see a movie with Jesse Ventura in it. I know I'm about to have a good time. Him and Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper movies. Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Never seen that one.
Yeah, nobody did. Pulse. Nobody did. They Live. Him and Keith Davidson in that long drawn out fight scene. You remember that fight scene?
No,
Have you never seen They Live?
no. But
Pulse.
I've missed. I've been late to the party on a few things. But I'm gonna ask: did you ever see a movie called Dickstown? A boxing movie called Dickstown?
No, but I'll check it out if it's about boxing.
It is great. It is great. That and The Great White Hype. Did you ever see that one?
No.
Oh man, I might watch that tonight.
Trying to think. What's another
And they
one?
don't make good movies like this anymore, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of boxing movies that kind of fall short that I wish wouldn't have. But and I want to see them make more. Like, are they making a Jack? I think I read this. I don't know. Are they making a Jack Johnson movie?
I hadn't heard that. That'd be dope though.
Hell yeah, dude! Make it and just build everything. Like, go to some like abandoned lot in fucking New Orleans and build an old timey. That's something I love about boxing, by the way. If I ever told you, like, one of my favorite parts about the history of boxing is they would just go into an open field and set up a stadium for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And then take it down and like, I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I think the one Jack Johnson fight got like over 100,000 people, and they built rows and bleachers in a field in like fucking Louisiana.
Just built a venue just for him.
Nuts.
Yeah.
And then the Tyson Fury movie will be okay. Won't be great, but it'll be okay. What do you think about that fight?
Well, who's that? Fury and Ngannou?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I mean, don't get me wrong. Fury's probably gonna dog walk him, but I hold out hope, man. I just, if there's any way Ngannou can just pull off this upset, because I just want him to just shock the world somehow. You know, this will throw off all the boxing experts, and this will pretty much give Francis this will give him all the not only all the bragging rights, but it gives him all the power in negotiations now going forward. You know.
Oh, I know.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's probably gonna lose. You know, but somehow, I wish they were fighting with 4-ounce gloves, because then it's more.
Yeah, I mean, I as a Tyson Fury, just hardcore mark. I am gonna say I am a little scared. I'm more scared of this than I am when he fought Deontay Wilder.
Really?
Yeah, because Francis does hit so hard, and I know, absolutely know what the game plan is going to be for Francis going into this fight, which is to overwhelm Tyson with punches. Like, throw as many as he can to get Tyson out of there as fast as he can, because that's his only shot. Francis doesn't have a puncher's chance at all. The only thing that he has. What was that?
No, he really doesn't. He's gonna get outboxed, but if he can land, There's always a chance, though. But that's why I wanted this. That's why I want them to wear 4-ounce gloves because
Yeah, they'll do that though.
They will.
Oh yeah, PFL will back the Brinks truck up to bring Tyson Fury into MMA.
I don't think he'll do it. I don't think so.
He says he wants to. He's been saying shit, obviously to promote the fights coming up, but he said he wants to fight him and John Jones in MMA.
I'll believe it when I see him step into the cage. I'll believe it then.
That $200 pay-per-view price is gonna be a wonderful thing, man. Like, I don't know why, but I see a high pay-per-view price because they're backing the Brinks truck up to Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's an athlete enough where if you have him sprawl with like heavyweight wrestlers for at least a year and a half to kind of get that defense down, and then maybe learning some like kick checks, he could go in there and kind of do defense. If he could defend himself a little bit, I think he's got a bigger shot than anything. I think because he does great clinch work on his own already. I mean, he smothered Deontay Wilder for how long? Every single fight? Like, he just, I'm going to put my big belly on you. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I don't really see, like, I don't, unless Francis can possibly land something in the first round, I don't really see it going too long before Tyson just tunes him up and gets him out of there.
Yeah. I give it about 3 rounds, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Because Tyson's going to want to, judge distance. That's going to be his big thing is how do I get enough space to land on that big Cameroonian motherfucker and knock him out into Merinuya. Like, that's where that's going to have to go, dude. Like, it's gonna be a process because Francis will come out swinging. It's just what's gonna be. He's gonna come out guns ablazing those first couple rounds, and if Tyson can hold him and clinch him.
Well, who is he training with for this fight? Teddy Atlas or Freddie Roach or somebody?
Francis Ngannou trainer.
Well, whoever it is, I don't know how much they can teach him in a matter of months that I have him ready for Fury. So it's like,
he says he's training with Mike Tyson. But here's the thing: what was one of Tyson's biggest flaws in his career?
Fighting.
Besides that, obviously, was more technical boxers who could judge the distance against his up close and smacking.
Yeah.
Gave him issues.
Yes.
So, I mean, if he learns from that and is able to teach Francis that, then we have one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the history of boxing coming in. And we all thought Ortiz or Wilder was going to be that guy. No, Francis, if he beats Tyson, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad in heavyweight boxing for a minute. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing an upset, but my official early prediction is Fury by 3rd round TKO.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. You want to talk some fights and then we'll get out of here?
Sure.
All right, let's low key. This fucking fight card is unfair. Big time. Cause like this would fill an arena for people to want to see this. Like this is not fair to have this fight card at the Apex. Like, don't hide this from us, you son of a bitch.
It's decent. Fiziev, Gamrot, Mitchell, Ige.
Yeah, we got. Let's bring this up real quick. Yeah, Gamrot versus Fiziev. Both guys are like powerhouse beasts to begin with, so that's going to be the interesting part about this is like who's going to fall, who's going to get that good shit in there. Who do you got, Pulse?
I'm going Fiziev. Is it Fiziev or Fiziev? I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I'm just gonna we'll continue calling him Fiziev.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want to change it at all because it rolls off better.
I'm gonna go Fiziev because Gamrot, he's a good grappler, but his striking is not that great, and his striking defense isn't that great. I don't think so. I'm gonna go Fiziev by mid-round TKO.
All right, yeah, I'm rooting for Gamrot as a Polish man. But yeah, I think Fiziev's gonna finish him. Fiziev's on a 4-fight win streak right now. Gamrot's on his way back. Me and Tim saw him at UFC 285. He was a last-minute replacement when he fought, so that should be an interesting one. We'll just run down real quick. Bryce Mitchell, get out your lovely tinfoil hats. Bryce Mitchell is out here speaking truth, Pulse. Speaking truth to power.
Doug Nasty,
right?
Man, yeah.
He never lies. Never lies. Doesn't come up with shit. I don't know. I'm just but he's facing Dan 50K Ige. And Ige's lost 3, and Bryce I forgot he's on a 4-fight winning streak.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to pick Bryce Mitchell. Hopefully he gets his camo as well. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go Mitchell by sub.
Okay. Absolutely. What round?
I think it'll be a fight early on, but I think, probably 3rd round submission.
Okay. All right. I dig it. We got Michelle Watterson and Maria Rodriguez. What do you think about this one?
Bathroom break fight, but I mean, I don't know. Probably I'm gonna go karate hottie.
Okay. Oh, you think I'm gonna say Rodriguez actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was knocking on the door to a title shot before she got beat.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Brian Battle and AJ Fletcher. What do you got going on with that one?
I guess I'll go with Battle.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Brian Battle's a beast. I'm picking him. I'm gonna pick Charles Air Jordan over Ricardo Ramos. Just because I love Charles Air Jordan. I'm gonna do a fan pick. Tim would get annoyed by that, but hey, sometimes it happens. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jordan.
Okay. And then Miles Jones, Dan Arguleta, or I can't even. Dan. We'll call him Dan. Not too familiar with these guys. I might have seen one of them at least. You got a clue?
Not really. You talking about the prelims? Or you talking about the prelims?
Yeah. Because I do want to talk about Tim Means versus Andre Fialho. I love the fact that Tim Means is still doing the damn thing.
Still in it, man. Yeah, Dirty Bird.
He's so good, and Andre's fucking great himself. But Tim Means, man, he just doesn't go away. He's like fungus on a shower curtain. He just doesn't go. You can scrub it as much as you want. It's gonna be there.
Yeah, it surprised me. Him and Court McGee. Court McGee is still on the UFC roster. Go figure that.
That's got to be a posthumous fucking position, bro. Like he's just there he's like a college professor. He's there emeritus. You know, he's there, but he's really not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like they just let go of Derek Brunson,
Yeah.
let Romero go, but you kept Court McGee. How does that work?
People like Court McGee, man. I like Court McGee. I think he's fun.
I guess so.
And then we got a few others that I'm interested in. Muhammad Usman is back,
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
taking on Jake Big Boy Collier. Jake Collier at one point was a middleweight. Came up to a fuck. Just decided to go to Sizzler one day, kid. Did you say golden parachute? No, I heard golden corral.
Yeah.
I got Usman won his last fight. No, I think he did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, he won his last fight. And then I think this will be Collier's probably last fight in the UFC if he loses this one. Because he got 4.
You know, I can see that.
But hopefully, but I like a beefy boy battle, and Jake Collier is definitely a beefy boy. So I will take that where it goes, and then we'll just go down a little bit more. Yep, and I think we're good. It's been one of those days, Pulse, and I've got a long day tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's gonna suck. Oh,
because of work, you mean?
Yeah. Tomorrow, I got a lot of driving to do tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So,
you driving again?
I drive for work. I've been allowed to drive for work since I got my driving privileges. There was a month where I wasn't allowed to drive. Drove me up a fucking wall.
Oh, okay, I see.
But yeah, but also I do feel like I need to check on Tim.
Yeah, man. Let me know how he's doing.
But we will be back Tuesday. Tim will hopefully be joining us. We took a mental health day and gave it, and so me and Pulse decided to take it to the limit. We lasted 2 hours. I was expecting an hour out of me, and that was going to be it. That I don't know why, but I thought it. And I'm glad, Pulse, you were able to come in. We were able to talk some of the fights. And we'll be back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check what time that is for you. Come join us, if you will, for watching Bro Plata. Thank you guys very much. For Pulse, I'm Ray Highclack. And as always, we will see you at the Kumite, fam.
Latest.